Anytime we roll out the third recliner, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Ariel Ursuto joining us now. And before we get to the Seahawks, Ariel, Walt just came on and told us one of his guilty pleasures is vanilla ice cream and Doritos. Nacho cheese,
yeah.
Doritos.
Yeah, he dips the Doritos right with the ice cream.
Do you have a guilty pleasure?
Well, I'll say just last night I did just cookie dough, like regular chocolate chip cookie dough, with some sprinkles of the big flaky sea salt on top.
Really?
But
Oh.
I mean, if we're talking just ice cream though, like the salty sweet ice cream, it's gotta be vanilla ice cream with fries dipped.
All right.
Interesting.
Like
That's a go-to. That's a
Wendy's,
go-to.
like a Wendy's Frosty type.
Oh,
of
nice. See,
deal.
that goes into the
that's good.
Fritos Fudgicle thing where you're doing.
Yeah, we get the Wendy's Frosty, the fries.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a vibe.
We once got the big tub of the Costco cookie dough, and then one night just started going into it, and then going into it, and then going, and then all of a sudden you're like, my God, I've ate half of it. I better finish it up. so I mean, cookie dough is dangerous.
Let's be clear. I bought the cookie dough last night just to eat. There were no cookies to be made. There was no heating up the oven. It was just cookie dough, flaky sea salt, pop.
All right, good.
Boom.
At least you got something like that. I like that. All right, we know Ariel spent a lot of time with the Seahawks this week. Give us a few things that you observed out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to take away from on the field performance and OTAs without any of the hitting or tackling, but you can take plenty away from how the team is showing up, their attitude, their desire to work. You're not seeing much complacency at all from a team that just won the Super Bowl 4 months ago. Take Cooper Kupp, guys. He was asked if he thought about retiring on top, and he said never for a second. We heard a similar sentiment from Demarcus Lawrence as well. But Kupp had some interesting perspective. He said from the Rams Super Bowl to OTAs, that gap, there were so many injuries, so many different groups of guys that they were nowhere near where this Seahawks team is 4 months later. Now, here he talks about what it feels like to see the championship banners each day.
A story and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind each of them, and so there's like the respect for what went into those things and what those stand for, and the journey that they stand for, the hardships that we're overcoming each of those things. But it's also like at the end of that moment of reflection is like the period at the end that says well now what.
To have that veteran so key. I also love. He was asked about Hard Knocks because he's been on it before, right?
Yeah, he was on it with the Rams, and he said basically it was kind of terrible having them around, and he's thinking it's going to be the same way this time around. But he said he's going to throw little nuggets in here and there of kind of just putting other people on the spot. He's going to have one of his coaches. He's going to put him on the spot, ask him a ton of tough questions, and just kind of have a little bit of fun with it.
It's good. He's got experience there too, because it's going to be different having HBO around.
And it's going to be kind of nightmarish, right, for everybody just having them there. But it's fun too. It's exposure. It's what comes with the territory.
Yeah, can you imagine though, Mike McDonald, as buttoned up as he is, how tough it's going to be for him to just kind of relax a little bit, because he doesn't want to give out any secrets. First time the Seahawks have ever done this with HBO, but HBO has a way of digging out good stories on these things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's going to be more. It's obviously going to be a lot of tough. It's going to be tough days for us having just them bulldozing us out of the way.
Yeah.
But it's going to be also just so much fun just to have this insight from these guys and be able to hear them mic'd up. I love all that.
All right, we spoke to Walter Jones a little earlier today about the Derek Hall extension. He's such a great guy. Talk about his big day Wednesday.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said kind of about how the guys are showing up with a certain attitude. It's a team-first mentality for Seattle. And Derek said he passed up a bigger paycheck to stay with the Seahawks just to maintain some consistency and be at a place that's fun to work. It also helps that he's the life of the locker room.
There's nobody that talks more or gets more talked at to than Derek. Everyone's on his ass all the time. And at the same time, everyone is hugging him, dapping him up because it's work.
Just magnifying and being myself, and I think the guys are receptive to that. They know when I come in the building, I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna talk my junk. They gonna talk back. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna shout a box 100 times a day. I may win 1, I may win 50, but the conversation and talking crap still gonna be the same. So I think it's pretty cool, man. Just the camaraderie and love that we have for one another is special.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare that a Super Bowl winning team returns as many players and coaches as they did, which obviously that kind of speaks to the culture in the building. But the biggest offseason change, guys, was the departure of Clint Kubiak and obviously the signing of new offensive coordinator Brian Fleury.
It is going to be interesting there, but I think, we talked about it on the show with Dave Wyman earlier this week. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff. You'll see couple little wrinkles here and there that we were starting to see at practice, but not really a concern for me. And also not a concern is the fact that Sam Darnold knows how to work with new offensive coordinators.
Yeah, I mean, this is his 7th in the past 6 years. It's pretty crazy. But, the word they keep using over and over again was stoic. We all knew that Clint was stoic, so this is even more so. So it's obviously going to keep a similar vibe on the offense. And Sam Darnold, he seems unfazed, like we were saying, that by this move. So it's pretty good that they're going to be able to keep a lot of the successful offense that they had while mixing in what Fleury did best in San Francisco.
Well, I think that one thing is the biggest thing about Darnold is that he has gotten this habit of just learning new offenses every year. And he says Brian Fleury was the tight ends coach for the 49ers. They passed each other in the hallway. He was, like you said, stoic, didn't do a whole lot of chatting with him in his time with the 49ers. But that's what makes a great quarterback. They're cerebral. Those guys that just get it, they can step to the line of scrimmage and they can look out there at the defense. They can read it, make the calls, the audibles, whatever they got to do. And Sam Darnold has proven not only that he can throw a great football, but he's got it up here.
And I'm throwing an audible at you as well here, because I know you're out there, and Jalen Milroe just excites me. Yet we're sitting here, we have Sam Darnold, so I don't need to really worry about this. But at the same point, I want to see him a little bit.
What a luxury, right?
Yeah.
To have a Sam Darnold like that, and then to also know that Jalen Milroe is right there in the background. He is exciting. I mean, we saw him on only a couple plays throughout last year when they would just bring him in for a few little packages, but nothing too big there. And I love that we're going to finally get to see how he grows in his second year, and just, is he going to step up? Is he going to take over that backup role? I mean, you got Drew Lock. We'll see. I don't know. It's exciting.
All right.